So the business is sort of like a mid six-figure business. My name's Ernesto Ortiz, and I run structural SEO. I just saw issues and I created the agency to try to solve them. I'm usually working between 10 to 15 websites, but this year I'm expecting maybe 25 or something like that.
Ernesto is one of the best SEOs in the business. Unlike a lot of the industry, he actually applies the scientific method to figure out what works for Google search. This is an approach to SEO that he took early in his career, and it's paid huge dividends. As a result, he's able to be highly effective for clients, and this has helped him rapidly scale his small agency. In this video, you're going to learn the strategy that he's used to achieve year-on-year growth of around 70% and the steps that he's taking to manage this growth. This can serve as a model if you're looking to put together your own agency in any industry that you're a part of. Welcome to Member Sherpa's High Altitude Case Study Series. So, who are you and what's your background?
My name's Ernesto Ortiz, and I run Structural SEO, which is an SEO agency. I've been working in marketing for 8 years, a little bit more, but I went to university to become a structural engineer, and I did that. I worked in that for a couple of years. So I've got an engineering background and then just moved over to different areas of marketing, but for a long time now I've been just focusing on SEO.
So, what is structural SEO and when did you start it?
We do search engine optimization, which is a type of digital marketing where we want to position people in Google in high results for whatever keywords they want to rank for. That is usually something that has to do with the products or the services that they sell. And the company 3 years ago, it became an official name, an official just company like that. Yeah.
Interesting. So, you're only 3 years into it.
Yeah. Operating from like with structural SEO itself. Like I worked in-house before and just a little bit here and there, but that the company is like 3 years old. Yeah.
So, you're working in-house at different companies. What companies were you working at?
I was working at this Australian company called Portable Partitions. I was basically their head of e-commerce, and we had an Australian website and a New Zealand website, and we expanded to Singapore and Hong Kong with sort of mixed results. I was sort of in charge of all the websites and anything that had to do with the website and sort of managing all the marketing channels. But SEO was also my project, and that's what I did. I started doing more and more of that every day. And yeah, so that's sort of how it started. I'd done SEO a little bit before, but that was where I, sort of learned most of what I do these days.
So, why did you decide to start an SEO agency?
I was doing a little bit of everything, mostly focused on SEO, but I was doing other stuff too. And I wanted to just narrow down into one thing and get extremely good at it and just focus all my time into that. And I saw there was lots of issues in the space, like most agencies do weird stuff. And before I took on the project, I managed several of them of very well-known influencers that you would, if you picked the top 5 or 8 most well-known people in the world in SEO for the content that they produce and stuff like that, and they have the agencies. Well, I worked with them. I was the client. They were delivering services to me. And I just saw issues and I created the agency to try to solve them because we always had issues. That's sort of how it came about. Just wanted to focus on something and I saw there was easy ways to provide a better service.
Interesting. So, you saw the problem, and then instead of, going to maybe an SEO agency as an employee, you just decided to start your own business to solve those problems for other people.
Yeah, correct. I was getting all the deliverables from them and I understood how they worked and all that just by being on the client side. Then I also did my research and, did everything that I could to just understand the whole thing. But by being an in-house, you have the advantage of working on one website in all the detail that you want. So you spend a lot of time in there and you know exactly what moves, what doesn't. Like it's not like you have, I don't know, 5 hours for a client a month or 10 hours for a client a month. You've got all your time just to look at what's going on. So it's a great way to learn, to test things and see what moves the needle, what doesn't.
So, these people had the problems with their SEO, and then you contacted them, and it just kind of snowballed from there.
Yeah, so I was brought in for like a more generic reason, really. But then we were getting so let down by the SEO agencies. We went through like three of them in not that, like sort of 1 year or something like that. And then I said, hey, let me take the project. And I had really good results very soon. So then I just kept on going and sort of to the point of dominating that niche. We ranked for anything we wanted, and even stuff that was like those two-word keywords that are quite generic, huge volume, but are not very high. We ranked for those anyway. We weren't even going after them. So yeah, we did. It was a really good job, and yeah, that's basically how it came about. So by being disappointed by the providers, then I was able to turn that around. And that's how I saw the impact that a well-run SEO campaign does to a business, because I was looking at everything, not just SEO, so I could see the impact across the whole business. So I understood the value of it and what went wrong, how to fix those things, and then just started working with other clients, and just trying to apply similar things. And yeah, it's been going good.
So, what were you doing that the other providers weren't doing? Why were you more successful than them?
Taking more time to understand the business itself, and not applying a templated approach to how to do things. So a little bit of more attention to the business specifics and a little bit of customization to how you go about doing things was the key. And I think that is the key for every other client that I have. It is a bit, you can't have a gazillion clients if you work this way, but you can have less and be way more effective. And just they appreciate it because you don't waste their time. You get results sooner. So um, I think that was the thing. And the other thing was also that when you hire an agency, you usually have a junior managing the account. And they just have this playbook that they go with, and they don't have the nuances of a more experienced person. So that is also a big difference. When you hire like a really big agency, you usually get a junior that's maybe been on the job for 4 months, or maybe 1 month, or 5 months, or tops a year, or something like that. And it's very different if you have someone with more experience just looking at things.
So, you decided to stay a little bit smaller, do some more personalized service for your clients. Did you try and grow the business at all?
It's been happening organically. Like I haven't done massive efforts like on the marketing side to grow it. It's just through recommendations and referrals. I've made some really good partnerships that send over good clients, but I haven't done any marketing beyond doing excellent work and the best work that I can do for everyone. And that's basically made people recommend me and recommend the agency, and that's how it's sort of grown organically. Um, and it's been good because you transition from in-house SEO in my case, then to sort of freelancer, then to sort of agency where there's a little bit more people involved. And there's lots of changes, so it's good that it doesn't explode all at once or something like that. It's been growing at a good pace where I'm able to just not compromise the quality of the work, and but also not go crazy and be working crazy hours or anything like that.
So, you've been at this for about 3 years now. What type of growth have you looked at?
It's been like 6 years or something like that. A little bit more, yeah, between 5 and 6, depending how when you count when you start. With the specific agency, it's been about 3 years. Um, and yeah, and it started with I still had my in-house SEO role where it wasn't full time, so I had a little bit of extra time, and that's where I took one client first, and then two clients, and then three clients, and so on. But now we usually have it sort of changes. It depends on the type of clients, because some clients are on retainers that are on a monthly schedule, and other are audits or projects that come and go sort of every month. Sort of depends which one. But this year I'm expecting to just move over maybe to the 15, 20, maybe 25 or something like that. Like if it keeps going at the same pace, it will start growing a little bit faster than the other years.
Interesting. So, that's almost a double for you year over year then.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's quite good growth. Now,
yeah.
What were the big challenges that you faced when you first started your agency?
Um, I would say that knowing how to do the work is different than running the business. So it's sort of this evolution from in-house to freelancer. Like in-house, you have a very different relationship with the business owner that I could call him and speak to him as much as I wanted all day. Freelancing is it's a little bit different because you're totally external. Like the communication is different, and then agencies, you've got other things because you've got some employees and stuff like that. Um, so it was more of a personal development thing and just learning those type of challenges. And it wasn't so much about doing the work, it's about everything else that surrounds doing the work. Like, how do I deliver this thing so it looks better? Or how do I communicate better? Or how do I deal with employees? When do I hire an employee? When do I hire a freelancer? Like that type of stuff. That's all new all the time. So as you grow, it stays new. There's just new stuff comes up. Um, so that's where the challenges come from. But again, it hasn't the growth, even though it's sort of doubled every year or something like that. It's still at a pace that you can keep up. It's fine. Like it hasn't been overwhelming.
Yeah, a lot of people that get into a membership or subscription business because they have a significant amount of skill in a certain domain or area, they find out that the difficult thing is not actually providing that skill set or that expertise to clients, is actually managing the business itself. So, yeah, totally see that. Now, you mentioned that you had just word of mouth. So people would recommend your company from word of mouth. Did you put any referral systems in place, or have you made any effort or put any strategies into place for that?
No, I've been terrible at this. I'm not the right person to hear about it. But I can tell you what worked most for me, and it was it was a guy, an agency, a Google Ads agency that I hired during my in-house SEO days. So I was his client, um, and we developed a really good relationship. And he just saw the work that I'd done, and because we share clients, meaning if a business is interested in showing up in Google, they'll mostly be looking at SEO and Google Ads, not just one of them. And so we share the same clients, but we don't compete in the service because he just does Google Ads and I just do SEO. We don't we don't go to the other things. So he just saw that I did good work, and we did really well for that company as a team, even though we weren't the same business or anything like that. So when his clients started asking, hey, I also want to do SEO. Do you know anyone that does it? He recommended me. So he sent me a lot of clients my way. And then as you do good work with clients, they start recommending you too, and it sort of grows. But he was he was one of those people that has been critical to the growth, and maybe the reason why I haven't had to do so much more work because I was evolving slowly with that workload. I didn't, like it was growing at a good rate.
Syndication is really powerful. Definitely a great way to get clients. So, how much is the business making now, and what's the revenue mix?
So the business is sort of like a mid six-figure business. Um, so it's still very early stages, but still pretty healthy for the amount of clients and the workload that we've got. So I'm pretty happy with how that's going. And again, I really don't know if it's this year or next year or maybe next month. Hopefully not next month because that would be a lot of work. But that doubling, I'm not sure exactly when it's going to happen. Just because this is the challenge of not having an actual predictable system in place for growth. I don't know when it's happening, and it's something that I'm going to work on this year. Is now I'm sort of prepared in advance for scaling, so I will do more active effort in that to try to control exactly and know, okay, every month this is the amount of people that I get, and that's new. So um, working towards that, and the revenue mix, I'm not quite sure how to answer that, but it's mostly 80% retainers, which is means that people pay every month for an ongoing service, and maybe 20% is sort of one-offs, that is between audits, and that is, you make an audit, you tell them what's going on, and then you can help them implement it, or they can just, their team can take it on, or and just consultation, that is sort of like 1 hour consultation with people and things like that.
So if you were talking to somebody today who wanted to start an agency, maybe not SEO, maybe design or something else, what would you say is the key thing to focus on? And then what strategies would you put in place to deal with that?
Well, I'd say that you can't assume that you know what you're doing, so you got to make sure that you know what you're doing. Like, it, from my in-house SEO day, where I dealt with every type of freelancer agency that you can imagine, um, people have wild claims. So web designers say that their design increases revenue. Designers says that whatever they design increases revenue. Everyone thinks their stuff increases revenue, yet copywriters, my copy like sells. Yet none of these people have actually seen the results of their work ever, because they just provide the service, go away, and they don't see how much money everything, like they don't know that. So whatever you say you do, you got to actually know that it's doing what you say it is. Let's start from the basics, that you're selling something that you know does what it should do. Once you've got that, which is surprisingly something that many people don't do, then because you know how to do the craft, I would say it's more about finding a way to get clients if you're going the agency side. In my case, it was through referrals from someone that shared the same type of client that I served. But you might do LinkedIn content, or you might do SEO, or whatever that is. It sort of depends on your style and how you go about it. But you need to know, or you need to have a way to get clients, because if not, then you don't have a business. Like, if you have one client that's not a business, you're sort of an employee, maybe an external employee. But I would say those are the two most important things: know what you're doing, and then have a way to acquire clients, even if it's not predictable. But you need to have a way.
You should definitely be focusing on what you're good at. Everybody has their own strengths. For me, it's writing and producing articles, so I focus on SEO content, article writing. But for somebody else, maybe they're really, really good at social media, maybe Twitter, maybe they do really good Instagram videos. So, yeah, definitely that would be where they should spend most of their time in terms of marketing.
Yeah, and every channel works. You just got to do the one that's you've got the least resistant with, and just do that well, the best you can. And then if you can repurpose, and like, that's all cool, but just don't, like, people get overwhelmed about it. Just do what you're good at. It'll work.
So, what's next for you?
Sort of what I'm leaning towards now is just preparing the business to scale. So then I can just go hard on marketing it and not be overwhelmed by that situation of growth, and have everything in place so I can dedicate my time to make SEO tests so we can deliver better results to clients, and I can just stay at the forefront of things and just make sure that I'm delivering the best service that I can, while spending the least amount of time on the time consuming work that is where someone else can do with appropriate training. And I can spend my time best on these other things. So just stepping away from some of the stuff, from like doing website changes and stuff like that, compared to just working every day to discovering new ways to help clients, and just making sure that those engagements are going the best they can.
So basically, delegating the easy stuff or the routine stuff, and then finding the way to serve your clients best and market the company best.
Yeah. So just basically have time to step out from those time consuming tasks, and have time to market the business, work on the business, grow the business, and also stay at the forefront of the work itself, because it evolves a lot. And if you're not in the trenches, you sort of get out of touch with it, and then it's easy to lose that expertise. So I don't want to lose it. I want to stay there, but I need to make time to be doing that, testing things, new ideas, testing old things to see if they still work, and that type of thing. So then everything else that the other people are doing is working. It's current. I know it is, because I've got this thing to back it up.
Right. Awesome. Thanks a lot for joining us.
You're welcome.
Ernesto's story with structural SEO highlights what you can achieve if you do good work and find a good way to attract clients. In terms of marketing, like Ernesto said, a lot of different channels can work, but the quality of Ernesto's work helped him network with another service provider and ultimately tap into the power of referrals. And if you're able to build a network of similar but not competing businesses in your niche, you should be able to achieve major growth. One of the big marketing channels that's open to you is podcasting. If you think you want to get started with podcasting, then I recommend checking out my conversation with Nate Torres. And if you want to hear what one of the best podcasters in the world says about how to grow a podcast, you want to look at my conversation with Omar Zenhom at $100 MBA.